One of the biggest things I really wanted to do is bring respect back to studio horror films. When I started out with The Conjuring, I think the true life aspect of the story made me want to elevate it above the typical run-of-the-mill horror films that we're kind of used to seeing. It's a drama that deals with the supernatural occurrences, and these two are such fascinating people, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Delving deeper into their world, one of the things we came across was the haunted artifact room. Between myself, the studio, and the producers, we all kind of looked at each other and said, there's so many great stories to tell. You know, wouldn't it be incredible if we could tell the stories of each of these haunted artifacts as their own standalone movie? The more we talked about it, the more it kind of evolved, and the more we realized they could organically be a bigger universe. And at some point, if we're successful and lucky enough, we can spin off all the different stories, opening up a much bigger world.
I like your dolls.
Part of the fun for me is, you know, how does Annabelle 2 tie in with Annabelle 1? And how does that tie in with the bigger Conjuring films?
We're headed down into the cellar where the doors just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us.
We've had some experience at this point. So we're pretty used to, you know, searching far and wide for just the exact right fit, and it's assembling a puzzle. Each piece has to work with the other pieces.
Even when we were making the first Conjuring film, we always felt that Annabelle was cool, but we felt like she had a lot more stories to tell.
We think of the Annabelle story as stretching both forwards and backwards from the original Annabelle movie.
Which makes it really exciting because she is a star. People love Annabelle.
I think after the first movie, it was clear that people had not had their fill of Annabelle. They loved the doll. When she first appeared in The Conjuring, one of the comments we got most was, "Who is Annabelle? Where did she come from? Tell us more about her."
James just did such a great job setting her up in that first Conjuring. So now she has this feeling of dread attached to her. You see that people, they react as soon as she comes up on screen.
People are fascinated by where she came from. And we elaborated on that in the first movie, and then in this movie, we're finally telling her origin story.
For me, it was important to really extend the mythology of the doll. I just really wanted to dig into her history, maybe find out how the evil started and how it began. And I was really curious about those layers and pulling those back to see what was behind them. What is it about this doll that makes it so haunting and evil?
Mrs. Mullins has been through this accident, so she wears a mask. So at first we don't really know what has happened to her. Her husband, Samuel, the doll maker, made her this mask to cover up her hideous scar. One of the reasons why we wanted to put her in that mask was to have her look a little bit like a doll.
Annabelle creation has a very sort of classic period look to it that takes it outside of the traditional horror films. And I think that's the key to keeping this universe feeling fresh and unique.
Forgive me, sister, for I've sinned.
Each of these standalone movies have a very different flavor to them. They're all connected to the Conjuring world, but I think it's great for them to be their own films, to be their own sort of subgenre, if you will.
It just goes deeper in the Conjuring universe. I think it's very exciting how this is evolving from The Conjuring to now the Annabelle franchise, and now it's going into the Nun as well.
That was taken in Romania, at a convent of cloister nuns.
And who is this in the back?
Who? I don't know. I don't think I even met her.
The next one that I'm really excited about is The Nun.
The Nun in The Conjuring 2 was instantly a classic, scary horror icon. I love the idea that this could spawn more movies and more characters.
We have a bigger picture of how to tie this in together and how these spin-off films, they're gonna eventually hook back up and link back into the main Conjuring films.